In this video, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to print on sticky notes so that you can have your own customizable sticky notes to use in your planner. And we'll also talk about some places you can find some pre-made files for printing on sticky notes. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you're subscribed, and I'll be right back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristen. I post functional planning videos on my channel 3 times a week. If you are a returning friend, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. The first thing you're going to need to print on sticky notes is, well, a computer and a printer, of course, but I am using these white Post-it brand super sticky notes that I got on Amazon. I'll link them below, but really you can use any sticky note that you have, any color that you want to print on or whatever. I just like the white ones, and I do like that the Post-it brand is reliable for staying stuck, not only for using in my planner, but also for getting it through the printer without jamming. And that's another reason why these, like the super sticky kind, is it just gives me some more peace of mind. I'm sure it will work fine with regular sticky notes. These are the 3x3 ones. This is the most common size that I have seen with the files that you can get that people share online for printing on sticky notes. But I'm sure if you look around, you can find all different sizes and just get the sticky notes that work for you. You could also create your own in programs like Canva. I make my own in Adobe Illustrator. So there are all kinds of ways to do it. I had started with some freebie files that I got from Peanuts Planner Co. and Plan with Bee. I will link those in the description too, so you won't have to go search for them. I'm pretty sure, like the Peanuts Planner Co., you need to join the Facebook group to get access to those freebies, and possibly with Plan with Bee, or you might need to sign up for their newsletter. I don't know. Whatever it is, you may have to sign up for something in order to access the freebies, but that's fine because, you know, they're free. So what you'll usually get with a printable sticky note file is a template. And it usually looks something like this. It's just some squares that fit on this is a US letter size sheet of paper. So this one is from Peanuts Planner Co. And I wrote the name of it on there so that I could keep reusing the same thing. I didn't have to print this out every time. And this one is Plan with Bee. That one already had the name printed on it. And then I made my own template for the sticky notes that I designed that we're going to be printing out in this video today. So the way this works is you want to take your template and just put a sticky note on each of the squares. And you want to keep all of the sticky part of the sticky note, which is on mine, it's up here. You want to keep those all in the same direction, pointing toward the way it's going to feed into the printer. So I'm going to put the sticky part of my sticky notes on the top of all these squares here. And that is so it can, you know, go through the printer without getting jammed in there, because if you did it another way, the printer mechanism that feeds the paper through will catch on this, and you don't want it to catch on that because it'll jam up. So if they're all in the same direction, then that will help you not to have a paper jam, and of course then your orientation of the thing that you're printing on the sticky note is going to be correct. So I just made a mistake here, and that was something else I wanted to explain. When you're pulling your sticky note off of the pad, you want to pull it off in the direction up. So like a lot of people tend to go like this and pull the sticky note like from the bottom to the top. That's what causes it to curl, and we don't want it to curl. So I'm actually going to kind of stick my thumb underneath and go like this and peel it from the side this way. And then that way you get a nice straight flat sticky note that's not going to stick up. You just have to be careful when you get to the edge that it doesn't curl up when you're pulling it off. So the last one, I've got my 6 sticky notes here. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to load this piece of paper with your sticky notes on it into your printer, following the guide on the printer. And I will meet you over at my printer to explain what I'm talking about, but usually there's a little symbol on your printer that shows the direction that the paper needs to go. Say if you're printing on something that already has printing on it, like a letterhead, for example, that's the way that you know how to put the paper in so that whatever you're printing prints on correctly. It usually looks like a little sheet of paper, and it has like a little corner folded up at the top, and then some like lines that indicate the printing side of the paper on it. And I'll show you that on my printer, but you're gonna have to find that on your printer because we probably don't have the same one. And my printer also has a tray that is like a vertical, like you put the paper in, you know, upright like this, where sometimes your printer might have a drawer that you pull out and then you lay the paper flat in there. So you just need to pay attention to how your printer pulls in the paper and make sure that your sticky notes are stuck down to your paper with the sticky side in the direction that the paper gets fed through the printer. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna meet you over at the printer right now. All right, we are at my printer in my office, and I have an HP DeskJet 2722. This is a super cheap printer. I literally bought it for like 20 bucks on Black Friday like 3 or 4 years ago, and it has been fine. It's not the greatest. The print quality, sometimes I notice that it's not very crisp, but it gets the job done, and I haven't really needed to upgrade or anything. But anyway, this is how the paper on my printer goes in. It goes up here on this little feed tray, and I'm just going to kind of bend this paper down to show you this symbol here. So we've got that, it's basically a little piece of paper. You can also see that little smaller rectangle with the upside down mountain in it. That is the symbol for like photos, like if you're putting photograph paper in there to print photos. The symbol there is explaining that the paper, when it's facing you this way, this side of the paper is the side that it's going to get printed on. And that upside down mountain is just explaining that that is the top of the paper. This bottom corner that's in the printer is the top of the paper. So if you remember, we put our sticky notes on the page where the sticky is up here. So that means when I feed it in, I want it to go this way. I want the sticky part of the sticky note to be going into the printer so that it doesn't jam. So now all I need to do is just open my document on my computer and tell it to print, and it should print exactly where I need it to print based on that template and where I put the sticky notes on the template. Okay, so now I have my template that has my sticky notes printed on it. These are the ones that I designed. I use these to help me keep track of my videos that I want to make, and if I film them, if they need to be edited, if I still need to make a thumbnail, that kind of thing. I just designed this in Adobe Illustrator, but I bet you could probably do this on Canva. To design a sticky note, you would essentially just start with the size that you want for your sticky note, the size that your sticky notes are. If you already have a stack of sticky notes that are a certain size, you might want to start there. Or if you wanted to just get these 3x3 white sticky notes, you could do that, and then just start with like a 3x3 square or whatever size you have, and then put whatever information on there that you want using your favorite design software. Like I said, I use Adobe Illustrator, but there's also Canva, which is free online. After designing it, you would just arrange it onto a letter size sheet of paper or whatever paper size you're using that your printer can handle, and print out your template. You don't have to have a special template like this. You could just print your sheet of paper out with your design on it in like the 6 spots or however many you were able to fit on your sheet without the sticky notes on it, and then put the sticky notes over top of what it printed on. And then that can just act as your template, and then you just print another copy with the sticky notes. So this is just how I do it, and these are for my YouTube videos like I mentioned, and I'm going to show you some other ones that I have recently done. So these are freebies that I got from the Peanuts Planner Co. Facebook group. There is a set of 12 for every month of the year. It's a monthly calendar that's dated. You can do Monday start. I think the Sunday start is available. It even has week numbers and a spot for notes. This is like one of the best freebie printables I've ever seen, and I really, if you want to try out printing on sticky notes, this is a really great one to have. This is another sticky note that I recently printed. It's just a graphic from the Planner Kate Facebook group meant to give you prompts for every day of the month of photos you can share using Planner Kate products. It's not meant to be a sticky note, but since it was square, I knew it would make a good sticky note, and then it would be something that I could move around my planner. If you participate in the Planner Kate challenge, this might be handy for you. I just drew little tiny circles to indicate the ones that I thought I could participate in, because they don't all apply to me. I don't use like the Doodle Girl stickers or, you know, certain colorways, that kind of thing. But some of the ones I thought that I could participate in, I did put little circles there with the intention of checking off if I did it. As you can see, I didn't actually check any off. It was a good idea, but then I didn't end up using social media a whole lot in January, so that just kind of went by the wayside. But I still like the idea of it, and it's just kind of an idea that you could really print anything on a sticky note. So those are some ways that I use printable sticky notes, and then I think I have another one here. This is to buy, and I don't remember where I got that, if it was Plan with B or SM Plans. I will try to link it in the description, but it's just a list of things that I need to buy that month. And what I like about it is that a lot of times I was writing my to buy list on my notebook paper here, but then it was things that I didn't buy that month or I didn't need to buy that month, and I was transferring that. And so I decided that putting this on a sticky note worked a lot better, because then I can move it month to month as I'm checking things off. And then once it's full, I can transfer like the last couple onto a new one and start over. But this is nice that I'm not having to rewrite that all the time. So let me see if I have any other ones in here. So there are my to buy ones here. I had one, I had a cleaning checklist one. I had a bunch of different ones. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these sticky notes off of my template here so that I can just stick them to my cover, and then I'll have them handy for when I'm planning out my next set of videos to film. I'm finding that I could make a list on the paper, but this is working a lot better for me because I'm not having to flip back and forth. I can just put the sticky note on the page that I'm using that week and then check things off as needed. And then if I'm not done with those videos, I can move it to the next week. And it's just been so much more handy than having a separate page dedicated to that. So I'm going to keep one, and I'm just going to stick it here for now so that when I get back to my desk I can fill that out. And then I'm going to put the rest, I think I'm just going to put them on this dashboard back here because I am out of space up here on my front cover, and then I used the back cover for something else. And so I could, there's just all different places to put sticky notes, dashboards and whatnot. So that is how I print out sticky notes. You can find printable sticky notes on Etsy by just typing in printable sticky notes and you will get a digital file. It's usually a few bucks, but if it's something you're going to use a lot, that's worth not having to sit down and figure out the design for it. And everything is already ready to go. And so to me, that's worth it. It was just, I couldn't find a YouTube cue sticky note. And so I just ended up designing it. But when you do find a file, either, find one on Etsy or go to any of the places I'm linking in the description, like Plan with B, SM Plans, Peanuts Planner Co., those kinds of places, make sure you read the text file or at least the description of the item to understand how it works. Usually there's going to be an instruction sheet. Most of the time it's going to tell you not to scale your image, but just make sure that you're reading that text file, because that's going to tell you everything you need to know. And then just the basics of putting the sticky notes on the template and feeding it through the printer is what I was showing you how to do. So it's really easy, it's painless. Yes, I've had it jam a couple of times and I don't know why, but like almost every single time I've ever printed on sticky notes, it has worked like a dream. So don't be afraid to do it. Let me know in the comments if you've ever printed on sticky notes before, or if you're excited to try it. And if you are going to try it, what kind of sticky notes are you going to print? Okay, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, please consider subscribing. I post functional planning videos on my channel 3 times a week, and I would love to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.